and welcome to Kelly and Wrighty. We've had our first major title race twist post the international break. Liverpool dropped points at Manchester United. There are 7 games to go. It's in Arsenal's hands. It's in your hands, Wrighty.
No, Kels, it's so close, but yet so far away.
There is still a long way to go, but Jurgen Klopp admits that Liverpool were wasteful at Old Trafford. Another chaotic game. He says Arsenal will easily beat United next month if Ten Hag's side play like that.
The Gunners are top on goal difference after beating Brighton, and Mikel Arteta says that Kai Havertz is a worrier. Next up for us is Harry Kane's Bayern Munich.
And there was lots of drama at the bottom of the table. Barely a dry eye in the house at Luton after their late win over Bournemouth. Could Carlton Morris's goal help keep the Hatters in the top flight? And it's not just us getting excited by the run-in. In Nashville, Tennessee, the latest Premier League fan fest was in full swing, and what a weekend to throw a party.
So much going on. Amazing scenes, and as Trossard said, are you not entertained? And could be a problem, but you've been playing well, you're defending well, you're scoring. So you shouldn't be going somewhere and you're going to let anything affect you, because what you're doing is enough at the moment to beat teams. And that's what I thought the other day. Once they started playing, I felt like at some stage, they're going to win this game because they're very comfortable. They're very, how can I say, prepared, Kels, in what they're doing. And they've got the facts of the best defence and, offensively, everything what they've got. So they're playing from a place of confidence. And, they're just putting it together really well. It was really good to see.
And despite the fact they're top of the league, it feels quieter around Arsenal this season.
I think a lot of noise about every other team, isn't there? I mean, huge teams involved. We got a 3-horse race here. Absolutely, go to the wire. But Wright is right. I mean, the swagger of that side now, you can just picture. We lined up against a lot of teams and some of the greatest sides. And when you look across at them, they're as if you're not even there. They're just focused on the job in hand. And I think that Arsenal team have got that now. They know what their job is. They go out and do it. It doesn't matter what the opposition do. They won't beat them if they play like they are. Manager's done a fantastic job there. He's galvanised them, but it also really helps when you've got 2 centre-backs who are the best in the league. As a partnership. Gabriel Saliba, absolutely magnificent, and Declan Rice has helped out that midfield. And they look like how they play anyway against you now. Like the Arsenal guy, I worked at the weekend with Emmanuel Petit. I was saying to him that back in the day, they could have a fight if you want to have a fight. This Arsenal team can do that. They will pass you to death if you want them to do that as well. Every football match you want to play as an opposition, they will be able to cope with it and they'll be better than you at it. Yeah, and we talked a little bit earlier about that run they went on where they were scoring 5-6 goals in a whole run of games. But as Tim said, the reason the goal difference is as good as it is and impressive as it is partly that, but in large part down to that really solid defence.
Honestly, I mean, it's so impressive the way they've rebuilt the side. And when you talk about the defence, the easy thing to do is talk about that back 5, but it's Declan Rice dropping back to help out. It's Trossard. You saw him at the end of the game really tracking back to tuck in. Saka on the other side as well doing similar. Everybody knows that it's a collective effort as far as Arsenal are concerned. That's why they haven't conceded away from home for 5 games. They haven't conceded in over their last 3 games. And the biggest thing you could say about them, apart from the authority of the win over Brighton at the weekend, is that, if anything, they're getting stronger rather than this stage last season. Yeah, they were weaker. And I think for us as journalists, covering games and watching games, they're convincing us to believe in them, even though if you look at the 3 teams, they're the only ones who haven't won the title in the last 2 decades. But we believe in them because they're racking up the numbers, the performances are confident. When you look at Arteta in his press conferences, there's no tension about him, as I've seen last year and the year before when they were going for the top 4. He exudes confidence and serenity, and I've always said the attitude of any team reflects the leadership, and his leadership at the moment, if you're saying that Liverpool and City are Godzilla and King Kong, they're like Kung Fu Panda. They're just so relaxed. And from their point of view, going into any given game, they play Aston Villa at the weekend. Aston Villa's kind of dropped off at the moment.
win it again, try and score, keep going, score. They got back, they funneled in behind the ball. When they scored the third one, the Trossard goal, everyone's behind the ball. Trossard nicks it, gets it on the halfway line, he runs through and finishes it clinically. I just think that they wouldn't have done that years gone by. They would have just been up the field already, they would have been all stood up there. Now they're all funneling back, they're making it hard to beat. We got the lead, we're going to keep it. And I don't think the goalkeeper gets enough credit. There's a lot of noise about the goalkeeper, whether it was Raya or it was Ramsdale. We're not asking them questions now. We're not asking them questions because he's showing he's better. He's better than him. He's more of a calming influence. He uses the ball better with his feet. And I think if you ask the players in front, as much as they won't come out publicly and say, they're far happier now. They've got Raya behind them than they had Ramsdale. And I don't think Ramsdale's a bad goalkeeper. I think he's very good. But I think Mikel's got that shout right as well.
Just to pick up on the point about Champions League football, and it's Bayern Munich, Harry Kane's Bayern Munich, as we give them their full title at the moment, that Arsenal are playing at the Emirates. But when we talk about the Champions League being a factor, what difference does that make in terms, because, you know, it's potentially 4 more games through the course of the season, and if you're playing well, players will say, do you know what, I'd actually rather be playing midweek weekend because we're in that kind of rhythm. We're not protecting ourselves for the end of the season anymore. Everything we've got is going out there. So where can it possibly slip up?
Well, the thing is, it will only slip up if, obviously, if you get a couple of injuries to key players, because the way they're playing and the way Mikel is and the way the team are, this is the scenario they want to find themselves in at this stage of the season. That's the way the club want to be. That's the way they want to be. And like I say, apart from injuries, they want that game. Bring on Bayern Munich. Everybody's saying, oh, we should beat them, whatever. At this stage of the Champions League, it's going to be a tough game. But they're playing well, and Bayern Munich will have a lot more problems against Arsenal than they've had in the past. But what they've got to do is just keep doing what they're doing, whoever they're playing against. And I think this is what Mikel will say. No, we don't want to start tinkering around. Oh, let's rest him for that one. Just go full steam. Yeah. Just go full steam and beat the teams, because the way I see it, if it does happen, but at some stage, I'm really feeling that Arsenal, Manchester City is going to have that situation where you might have to play them a few times in this stage. That could happen. Got to get our minds ready for that. But at the same time, you've just got to focus on exactly what you're doing. And I think at the moment, the mentality...
They've got everyone bar Timber, really, at the moment.
Timber, and there's some suggestion that Timber might even be available early next month. So that could be a huge boost to them as well. But I think the way that they play, even this time last year, I was on the show, you guys lost Saliba, and it derailed everything. But I think there's such discipline right back, and everyone would still have the same approach to the way they go about their jobs, because it is not just... Even though we give them the credit, it isn't just a centre-half pairing, it isn't just the back four, it's the entire team that's prepared to do the hard yards.
We saw that at City,
win by a single goal if necessary, but just to get the job done.
With the fixture congestion, just my theory on it, if they lose a game, if you lose, the disappointment is coming back from the disappointment, because in that dressing room they will believe they can win any competition they're in. If you get knocked out of one, then it's how you pick yourself up to fight for the next one. That is the only thing. I'm not sure they're tired. They're not tired. When you're winning football matches, you don't even feel it. When you lose a game, mentally you feel tired, then all of a sudden your head tells your legs, and that's a problem.
Tell me about Kai Havertz as well and the performances he's putting in.
Well, the thing with Kai is that when he came, I think I was one as well who said that he's coming in to replace Xhaka, the left side 8, playing in there, maybe the 10, 8. But what we've seen is he's taking credit for... See, I couldn't see it, Kels. I did not see this Kai Havertz now. And now I'm looking at it, I say, I don't know how we'd do without him.
Has he stumbled over that? Because
not Mikel.
To Jesus?
No.
He's only got an opportunity to play until when he come out of the team. But I think, I agree with you. I think Mikel sees it every single day. We don't. I've sat here many times and say, what is he? Is he an 8? Is he a 10? Is he someone who plays loose off the side? Certainly didn't think he was a number 9. Good eyes, fantastic movement. He talks about Jorginho. He tipped his cap to him. Jorginho's playing because of him. Seen the passes. He's certainly got telepathic movement. Knows where it's coming. He knows exactly where he wants it. You get them relationships. Absolutely. Obviously played at Chelsea together. Fantastic. He has been, and I am one. I put myself in that queue. You're one. Wright is one. I'm certainly was one of them. Who is this kid? Why have they bought him? Now we're seeing exactly why.
So there's an argument that Arsenal can win every game remaining, not just in the Premier League, but in the Champions League. Liverpool, you could make an argument. We looked at theirs afterwards. We looked at which...
The defensive and the way they're scoring, I'd fancy them. So, you know, this is why it's so great, because that's not going to happen, because they're not all going to win, I don't believe. So we are going to see something, and that's what's exciting, and who can cope with that?
I am a slightly dissenting in so much as I think Wolves for Arsenal could be tricky. I think Wolves, I know you're looking at me really strangely.
No.
But I think
No,
Gary
just
O'Neill
wait,
has
just
got